Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie admit they've cried over intense public ridicule. Welcome, royal watchers, to Crown Chronicles, your home for royal truth, royal drama, and royal reality. If you love uncovering the untold stories behind the grandeur of Buckingham Palace and hearing the emotional truths that the tabloids often ignore, then don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay with us till the end, because today's story might just make you see the York sisters in a whole new light. For years, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, the daughters of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, have been the quiet figures of the British royal family, not quite frontline royals, but never out of the spotlight either. Yet behind their smiles and polite royal waves, there has always been something deeper, a quiet pain that has followed them from childhood into adulthood. And now, in a rare and emotional confession, both Beatrice and Eugenie have admitted that they've cried over the years of public ridicule that have haunted them since their youth. It's a story that touches the very heart of what it means to be born royal in the modern age, when the world expects perfection, and every outfit, facial expression, and friendship becomes front-page news. The truth is, Beatrice and Eugenie never stood much of a chance with the press. From the very beginning, they were labeled, unfairly, and often cruelly, as the spare daughters of the disgraced Duke. Their father's scandals, their mother's controversies, and their occasional fashion missteps became endless tabloid fodder. Every headline seemed to mock them. Every photograph became a meme. Every attempt to live normal lives was twisted into something scandalous. Who could forget the infamous royal wedding hats moment at Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding in 2011? What should have been a joyful family event turned into a global joke at Beatrice's expense. Her Philip Tracy hat, a bold, avant-garde piece, became one of the most mocked fashion choices in royal history. Overnight, she was trending on social media, not as a princess, but as a punchline, and while the world laughed, few stopped to think that behind the laughter were two young women, sisters, watching themselves be torn apart by millions of strangers. In a recent emotional conversation, Beatrice reportedly confessed, "People forget that we're human. There have been times I've cried because of the things written about me, things that weren't even true." Eugenie echoed the sentiment, saying, "The ridicule hurts. You try to be strong, but some days, it gets through." Their pain, though, isn't just about fashion faux pas or gossip columns. It's about living under a shadow they didn't create, the legacy of their father, Prince Andrew. His fall from grace following his ties to Jeffrey Epstein has tainted everything connected to the York name. The sisters, who once enjoyed a measure of royal freedom, now find themselves constantly defending their place in the royal hierarchy. A palace insider revealed, Beatrice and Eugenie have felt punished for their father's mistakes. They've tried to live honest, hard-working lives, but the media never lets them forget who their father is. Indeed, both princesses have built professional lives outside the royal fold. Beatrice works in finance and technology investments, while Eugenie is an art gallery director deeply involved in charity work. They've both been praised for their independence and for carving out careers away from the taxpayer's purse. But no matter how much good they do, the public narrative seems to pull them back into the orbit of scandal and mockery. Even in their relationships, they've faced public judgment. When Beatrice married Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi, headlines focused less on their love and more on whispers about his past relationship and his wealth. When Eugenie married Jack Brooksbank, the attention shifted to the guest list and speculations about royal tension. It's as if their every moment of happiness must come with a side of criticism, and yet, through it all, they've remained close, not just to each other, but to their family. They've supported their mother, Sarah Ferguson, through her endless public ups and downs. And they've remained loyal to their father, even as his scandals threatened to overshadow everything. Behind closed doors, they've been described as united, emotional, and fiercely protective of one another. Eugenie once said in an interview, "We're each other's biggest supporters. We've had to be." That bond, it seems, has been their greatest defense against a world that often delights in tearing them down. Still, royal watchers say their emotional honesty could mark a turning point. In a monarchy that thrives on silence and stoicism, Beatrice and Eugenie's willingness to admit their vulnerability, to openly say they've cried, that they've been hurt, feels revolutionary. It humanizes them in a way that the public isn't used to seeing from royals. But not everyone sees it as a good move. Some critics accuse the sisters of playing the victim and seeking sympathy at a time when the royal brand is under strain. One commentator said, "The Yorks always want attention. They say they're private citizens, but they still live in royal houses and attend royal events." However, those who know the sisters best say that couldn't be further from the truth. Beatrice and Eugenie have never wanted pity, a friend told the Telegraph. They just want to be understood, to show that being royal doesn't mean being bulletproof. The irony is, in an age where authenticity is celebrated, the royal family still struggles with emotion. Beatrice and Eugenie's openness may be uncomfortable for the palace. But it's deeply relatable to the public. Who hasn't felt misunderstood? Who hasn't been mocked or judged for something they couldn't control? In many ways, their story is a modern fairy tale turned inside out, not about crowns and castles, but about resilience and vulnerability. It's about two women born into privilege, yes, but also into constant scrutiny. They've learned the hard way that in the royal world, every smile can be weaponized, and every tear can be headline news, and yet, through all the ridicule, they're still standing. Still smiling. Still trying. That might just be what makes them the most relatable royals of their generation. As one royal observer put it, they've lived their entire lives under a magnifying glass. And yet they remain kind, grounded, and full of grace. If that's not strength, I don't know what is. Perhaps, one day, the world will stop laughing at the hats, the scandals, and the headlines, and finally see Beatrice and Eugenie for what they truly are, two daughters, two sisters, two women navigating the impossible expectations of royal life with dignity and heart. Thank you for watching Crown Chronicles. If this story gave you a new perspective on the York sisters, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because here, we don't just follow the royals, we uncover the truth behind the crown.